she was like the first female in a very male-dominated universe.
People didn't quite know what to make of it.
The sexualisation of her was a little bit at odds at her character in the game. It wouldn't have been on that character's terms.
She may not have been the ideal video game role model, but she was all we had.
Ultimately, the heart of it was this real human character.
1996's Tomb Raider was a watershed moment in video game history. Yes, we'd had female playable characters before, but nothing to this scale, which begs the question, what was so special about Lara?
She was a ballsy female, she was intelligent, she was clever. You know, it was the era of the Spice Girls, so girl power was all important, and she absolutely fitted that mood.
Intelligent, independent, very striking, could be athletic, could do all these incredible things, and would be enjoyed by male and female. And thus it transpired over time that 30% of purchasers were women and 50% of players were women.
I grew up with the games, and of course that was a wonderful thing as a girl growing up and finally getting to see a female protagonist in a video game.
This was the era of lads magazines and all sorts of stuff that's probably not acceptable today. But she was a very positive character.
My father used to say he'd spent many, many hours following around Lara Croft's bottom. And I was going, no, don't sexualise Lara, Dad.
I think not enough credit is being given to the team at core, the original creators, Toby Gard and Paul and Jeremy Smith and his brother. They did an incredible job in iterating every year a new Tomb Raider.
And that's tough to do one a year.
And they were, some of those were classics, 2 and 3 were amazing. The problem happened, unfortunately, when the studio was required to move from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, an Angel of Darkness.
That was when you had her starring in Playboy, that was when you had her as a bit of a sex symbol everywhere. And then the developer ended up running with that. And there was, I think the nadir of the series was probably Angel of Darkness, which was Lara Croft in PVC. And it was all a bit grim. And then Lara just went away for a while. When she came back, it was Crystal Dynamics who had taken over. And they made a series of more action-focused games that had less of the puzzle stuff that was in the first couple Tomb Raiders, but the Lara in them was toned down in personality-wise. They reflected the taste of the time, and they were very good. And then they went away for a bit, and then we got the reboot in 2013, which is also Crystal Dynamics, and that was successful.
It was incredibly successful, in fact. The 2013 reboot was the biggest selling game in the entire franchise's history, ushering in a new era of Lara.
I got the eye of the tiger, the fighter, dancing through the fire, 'cause I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
I was introduced to the rebooted version, and I was like, wow, they've really managed to take this, known character into our time, and something that I think young girls can really relate to.
I think Lara sort of had to move on as a character because games had moved on, storytelling in games had moved on, character development had moved on.
We started her when she was 21, she was just out of university, she thinks she understands the world and everything about it in the way that you do when you're just out of university. She comes to question everything, really, and she's put into this terrible situation, and she turns to people that she thinks are going to be more capable of dealing with it. And she has to come to realise that no, actually, she's just got to pull herself up by her bootstraps and get things done.
She always has this kind of swagger and wit about her. She's clever and smart. And someone who has that cleverness, then you're also allowed to kind of show that you are imperfect and okay with being vulnerable.
The movie is kind of like a big amalgamation of the 2013 reboot and obviously Rise, in terms of there's the plane bit and then there's the boat bit. I mean, is that kind of quite surprising that the movie's kind of just lifted so much from the game?
Well, to be fair, the Tomb Raider games have lifted a fair bit from movies in their time.
Yeah.
I think it's action genre tropes, isn't it? I feel like it's sort of up for grabs.
It's sort of cool to see, sequences from the game in there. I haven't seen the movie myself, so it's gonna be interesting about how it all comes together, and obviously there's a bit of apprehension because games to movies have not traditionally done that well, and it's like, is this going to be the one that breaks the curse?
I like a movie where someone's being chased by a giant ball. I'm up for it. More of it.
More balls.
It's good. Yeah, more balls, please.
she's evolved. She's become something quite new. She's really been reborn in these recent games and sort of reclaimed.
She has kind of morphed to kind of be relatable to whatever time that she's in.
I have yet to meet a female gamer my age who doesn't love Tomb Raider. You know, for gamers, it was our bell jar. Well, you know, the clever teenagers were reading Sylvia Plath. Us nerdy gamers were playing Tomb Raider. And I think that's why she's got such a special place in our hearts still.
Lara Croft has already given us a long-standing legacy. Not only has she inspired female video game characters to be born, but also she inspired an entire generation of female gamers to see that gaming was for them, to get excited and passionate about it, so much so that a lot of them even moved to go and work within the industry itself. And with this new movie coming out and obviously subsequent games planned, she's not only going to inspire this generation, but generations to come.
I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it. I will survive and keep on surviving.